As I said, we're going to get together with Amy Sylvis, who's going to be teaching us about some LinkedIn capital raising secrets. Just to give you a little bit of background about how these sessions actually work, if you haven't seen it. First of all, we start off with the speaker who goes from 30 to 45 minutes, and you get to ask, it's question and answer session in between that. So feel free to ask questions as Amy's speaking. And then at the end of that, we'll go into a networking session where we put in breakout rooms so that everybody gets a chance to meet not only Amy as a speaker, but other people who are into the in the session as well. So with that, let me read Amy's bio. So if you had a chance to read it, Amy Sylvis is the founder and principal of Sylvis Capital, a real estate firm that offers commercial real estate investment opportunities to investors seeking to generate strong returns without the day-to-day hassles of operating real estate. With a foundation built upon rigorous analysis, risk assessment, and a deep appreciation for emerging trends, Sylvis Capital has consistently identified opportunities that deliver exceptional returns for investors. Sylvis Capital currently have 1,457 apartment units, 208,000 square feet of flex industrial space, and 225 million worth of assets under management. So with that, I will give Amy the floor and she can run us through and talk to us about some of the LinkedIn capital raising secrets.
All right. Charles, thank you so much for having me. This is exciting. Let's see lots of familiar faces. Everyone, I couldn't be more pleased to be here. I've got a good bit of information. Oops. I got a good bit of information to share with y'all. So I'm going to talk kind of fast so we make sure we cover it. I want to add tons of value. And as Charles mentioned, feel free to ask questions as I go through. If it's maybe a topic I haven't covered yet, try to hold off until the end to see if we cover it. But if I'm saying something, it doesn't make sense, you want to dive a little bit deeper, would love to keep this interactive so it's not just, an Amy monologue show, because that's boring for everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Great again to see you all. All right, going to just double check you all can see my screen. Yeah, perfect. Thumbs up. All right. Well, let's teach you all some LinkedIn capital raising secrets. We'll jump through my bio because Charles did a great job introducing who I am. This is husband Joel. We live in LA. We love to do all sorts of fun things like college football, spend time with family, and travel internationally. And as Charles mentioned, I'm the founder and principal of Sylvis Capital. You understand everything about what I own, and I also have raised millions and millions of dollars from complete strangers off of LinkedIn, and I want to teach you all how to do that as well. I love Jim Rohn. If you don't know who he is, you should get to know who he is. Angel knows. She's already nodding her head.
Okay, go playing it.
Oh, hey, Jody.
Hi.
Hey, do you mind muting?
Do it. Sorry.
It's okay. The same.
You're muted, Amy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. The same wind blows on us all. Therefore, it is not the blowing of the wind, but the setting of the sails that will determine our direction in life. So why do I bring up this quote? I'm really wondering how many of y'all raised all the capital that you needed in 2023 and beyond? Anyone? Very few people did. Very, very, very few people did. And that's okay. It was a tough time, but I'm going to equip you all so that in 2024 and beyond, you can raise massive amounts of capital. So why has capital raising been challenging over the past few years, especially in 2023? I would submit to you all that the capital raising game has changed. In fact, what has worked in the past is not working any longer, or maybe not working as well. So maybe you've run out of your own capital. You've run out of capital from friends and family. And it can definitely take a while with the media not working in our favor and scaring the pants off of everyone to build trust with investors, right? That can be tough. And maybe you're getting these one-on-one calls with investors. They're kind of inefficient. People are tire kickers. You're not all that sure if they're actually looking to make a move and actually invest. And I see a lot of people spending an inordinate amount of money traveling across the country, trying to meet people at conferences and workshops when they're kind of raising capital from other people that are trying to raise capital from them. That can be pretty inefficient. And then, of course, perhaps potential investors know nothing about your deal before they jump on a call. They know nothing about you, what you're doing. And last but not least, maybe this sounds familiar, people decommit when it's time to wire funds. So I'm sure one of these sounds like what you've experienced in 2023 or before. So I want to take you to a place where something like this can happen. I want to know if you'd like to, if you would prefer results like getting $250,000 wired to you for your deal in just a few weeks from someone off of LinkedIn, compliantly. We're doing all of this above board. This is real. This person actually wired 250K slightly after we talked, and of course got to know each other. Let's see if there's a question in the chat here. Yeah, thanks, Cornell. Appreciate you. All right. So before we get into LinkedIn, I just want to give you high level what I see in terms of capital raising moving forward and the mistakes that I see folks making that are preventing them from getting those $250,000 checks wired to them. So the first thing is not having an online presence. And that's not just your own website. This is social media. It's 2024. Social media matters. This is what people do in their free time. They're scrolling, they're consuming content. Also not having one-to-many messaging. So again, thinking about going to conferences, maybe not, just having those one-on-one conversations, which of course are incredibly important, but you really do need to make sure that your message is going out to a wide variety of people. Think scale. The third mistake I see folks making is not having a system or a funnel or a process in which their capital raising is scaled and how they're able to pre-qualify folks before they get into their capital raising funnel. And then speaking of scale, I see a big mistake of folks not having a scalable way to keep investors warm in between deals. Because all of us don't have investing opportunities at all times, right? Very often, maybe you have several a year, but it's not a 365-day-a-year thing where you've got an opportunity for folks to wire money. So what are you doing to keep folks warm between deals and have that two-way dialogue at scale? And then, of course, not connecting with other operators for deal flow. That's another challenge that I see happening quite a bit. All right, so how do we fix this? How do we fix this capital raising problem that so many folks are going through to move capital raising from just friends and family to raising capital at scale? Uncapped. So why LinkedIn? I'm going to submit to you all that LinkedIn really is the answer that you're looking for. Again, I've raised millions and millions from complete strangers off of LinkedIn. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, you can do this as well. But why LinkedIn? Why is that the platform that I've chosen and I've been so successful with? Half of LinkedIn users earn over 75K a year. That may not sound like a lot, but it's actually the highest earning platform of any social media platform. So if you're looking for $50,000, $100,000, $250,000 checks, you want to fish where the fish are, right? That's going to be LinkedIn. Over a third of all millionaires in the United States are LinkedIn members. Hello, accredited investors. LinkedIn now has 1 billion users, a billion. The population in the United States is 330 million. So we're not just talking about the US. This is a worldwide platform. And I alluded to this above, but LinkedIn users have twice the buying power of the average web user. Sound good? This is where I want to be. I have a feeling this is where you all want to be as well. Here's the other really cool thing. When was the last time you Googled your name? Has anyone done that recently? You can come off mute, tell me. If you haven't, this is what I bet you're going to see. Your LinkedIn profile, not your personal website, will very likely be Number one, number two, or number three? I'm going to give you guys just a second to Google your name and let me know in the chat, or you can come off mute. I'm really curious what you see. Let me know if you've got a common name. If your name is Charles Hamilton, maybe there might be some other Charles Hamiltons, in the mix. It's possible. But Vincent sees a famous boxer and then his LinkedIn. There you go. Okay. I love it. I love it. Anyone else? What do you see? Number one, number two, number three? LinkedIn is number two, Sean. Amazing. Levi's been able to get his website first before LinkedIn. Okay, that's good though. Number one, Matt. Fascinating. So I hope y'all are seeing LinkedIn is no joke. Whether you're capital raising or whether you've just met someone. Ooh, Mitchell, number two, Peter, number one. Yeah. So if you don't have a LinkedIn presence, if it isn't the way you want it to be, the way it should be, like your own personal website for your business, it might be time to make sure you've got a good presence. Wow, Dennis, number one. Wow, searching incognito too. Yeah, you never know what LinkedIn's up or what Google's up to. All right, so let's talk about this LinkedIn platform. I'm sure many of you have heard of the know, like, and trust expression, right? People have to know who we are before they can like us, and then they can trust us. I want to use this framework to help you understand how to raise capital on LinkedIn. Cody, LinkedIn, but they got your bio wrong. Are you able to edit your bio? You should be able to edit your bio, Cody. We'll talk about it. I'll show you how actually in this presentation. So this is the visual I want you all to keep in mind. Anyone who's capital raised or done sales, you know what a funnel is, right? Your sales funnel. Well, I call this the know, like, trust, and wire funnel. Because the way I want you to think about raising capital on LinkedIn is going to be moving folks through this funnel. I'm going to show you how. So you may be asking, okay, Amy, where in the world should I start with raising capital on LinkedIn? I'm going to give you some strategic steps and ways to get this going. But I want you to focus again on this know, like, and trust funnel. We're going to teach you how to get people to know who the heck you are, to like you, and to trust you. And in my experience and what I teach my students, it really comes down to these three things. It's understanding the algorithm. It's understanding how to post, what to post, and it's understanding strategic commenting. This last one is really important. A lot of people forget about this. Oh, wow, Angel, that's cool. YouTube, very, very interesting. Yeah, YouTube's powerful. That's a good one too. I love that you saw that. So when we think of measuring our success, because if you're analytical like me, how do you know that what you're doing is you're doing the right thing, you're making progress? Well, I would encourage you all, and we'll talk about this a little bit later here, but to measure KPIs. And the KPIs that we can focus on LinkedIn are the number of people taking the time to view your profile, the number of impressions your posts are getting, and the number of engagements your posts are getting as well. Tuck that in the back of your hat. We're going to follow back with that as we dive in. All right, let's start off with the algorithm. Who knows what an algorithm is? Can anyone give me a definition? If you've already taken my class, Angel, you don't get to cheat. Yeah, Sean, go. What's an algorithm?
So I'm cheating. I'm an IT geek. So
That's okay.
an algorithm is just a systematic approach for getting something done.
Okay, good. I think Sean said it better than my definition I have on the next page. I love that. That's exactly right. So this is a bit more complex. I'm going to change my answer to what Sean says. Yes, Vincent, perfect. So it's a set of rules and calculations for social media purposes that's done especially by a computer. Why does this matter? This matters because if you've gone on LinkedIn recently, you notice you're not seeing people's posts chronologically, right? You're not seeing what happened, something that changes all the time. Thanks, Angel. I saw Charles laughing. I'm like, there's got to be a reason Charles is laughing. It's because Angel made him giggle. It does change a lot, but I'm going to help you all with that. But the algorithm, y'all, on LinkedIn decides what is put in front of you. Or more importantly, the algorithm is going to decide if your posts and your comments are put in front of people who might want to wire money to your deal. So understanding the algorithm is incredibly important. And I'm going to distill the LinkedIn algorithm down to something that's incredibly simple for you all. Has anyone read the book, The Go-Giver? But a lot of people have. What's the main theme of The Go-Giver? It's in order to receive capital, connections, comments, anything like that, you must give. And that truly, I get goosebumps saying it because it's so powerful. That truly is what the LinkedIn algorithm teaches or rewards. If you're out there giving education, content, support, comments, encouragement, all of these things, that's it, Jody. You will be able to hack the algorithm and more people will see your content. If you haven't read the book, The Go-Giver, go get it. But it really talks about the 5 laws of stratospheric success, talking about your income is going to be determined on how many people you serve. Your worth is determined by what you give people in terms of value. Your influence is going to be determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. This is it. This is the algorithm, you guys. If you take nothing else away from this presentation, I've given it all away here. If you want to receive, you better hurry up and start giving. So let's get specific. I want you guys to take a few things away. If you want the algorithm to put your posts in front of more people, you're going to need to post on LinkedIn 5 to 7 times a week. That may sound overwhelming. That's okay. It's like a muscle. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on what to post later on in the presentation, if I can talk fast enough. But even don't let perfection get in the way of progress. If you're not already posting, get posting. Pictures of faces where you can see the whites of your eyes. Always a great algorithm trick. People like to see your face, even if you're a middle-aged lady like I am. It's okay. People still like to see your face. Don't put links to outside websites in your posts. Put them in the comments. The reason behind this is LinkedIn LinkedIn makes money, right, off of their ability to keep eyeballs on their website. They don't want the eyeballs to leave to go to another website. So if you're linking to, an event like Charles has, or a podcast, or an event that you have, something like that, just put the post, or put the link in the comments. Sometimes creating a little bit of controversy can be good sometimes. Now, I'm not saying to talk politics and religion, God forbid, you can talk about them, but don't try to stir the pot like you're on Facebook. But maybe saying something like, your home is not an asset. Woo, that could get some people to say some things. Just a few things to hack the algorithm there. So I talked about posting 5 to 7 times a week. What in the world should you post? Before we get there, how many of you post on LinkedIn regularly? Let's say 3 times a week at least. Good job, Sean. Sean's already an A+ student. He's not even in my class yet. Anyone else? Angel, you do. I know you do. Charles, you definitely do. Levi, you definitely do, my friend. You do a great job of commenting too. All right. Marquise, that's okay. You got it once a week. Okay, good. You got something going. Mitchell, twice. Good. Good. That's really good. So what should you post? I'm going to give you an idea that I think will give you a lot of flow. It'll bring a lot of ideas to you. Andrew, 2 times a week. Great. I would submit to you that the best way to come up with content to write on LinkedIn is to start with your target avatar. It's not a movie. Someone said that to me the other day. They're like, Amy, people probably think you're talking about the movie. No, these are the people you want to raise capital from. We've all heard, or I've heard Sean's amazingly specific, fantastic avatar. He knows the age, the name of his avatar's kids, the industry he works in, his goals, all of these things. This is perfect. If you haven't done this, you need to take a moment to figure out, who are you targeting? Who do you want to raise capital from? Kevin is his name. Yes, Sean has even named him. So when you want to think of what to post, think of your target avatar and think about what are their wants, their desires, their goals, and their fears and their pain points. This takes some empathy, right? Trying to figure out where do they want to go, or what is your target avatar trying to avoid? These can be really, really helpful data points. And then marrying that with how real estate is related to that. You following? So we can be a go-giver. Charles keeps muting me. Just teasing me, Charles. You're fine. But I would suggest be a go-giver, and let's give our target avatar education that is relevant to their wants, desires, goals, their fears, and their pain points. Let me give you a few examples. You can talk about, for example, what you've recently learned. Maybe you recently discovered that self-directed IRAs allow real estate investing, and your target avatar is really worried that he or she is 100% in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds in their retirement account, and they don't want their entire retirement to be dependent on paper assets. Or maybe you used to believe something before and now you've got a different perspective. Maybe you used to believe that, hey, I thought I was diversified. I invested in mutual funds. Wall Street told me I was diversified. Well, maybe your target avatar wants to have a stable, calm, fruitful retirement, and you're going to share with them this recent perspective change you had about what diversification truly means, what that entails. Or maybe your target avatar is getting close to retirement and is extremely concerned about having enough money to retire, and they're hearing all over the media current events about interest rates being high and oh my gosh, and the war and all of these things. Maybe you make a post talking about how real estate is recession resistant, or how it can provide steady passive income without having to sell the original asset, right? A lot of folks are in the mindset of capital gains: buy low, sell high, take the money, try to live off of it for as long as possible. Maybe you introduce this concept of real estate investing and what that can look like. Just a few ideas. You could talk about myths that you often hear about real estate investing. Maybe your target avatar has thought that interest rates being high means it's a terrible time to invest in real estate, and there's going to be a global financial crisis type crash like 2008. Maybe you give that information. You could talk about your own journey. A lot of people get great ideas, inspiration, encouragement by hearing about where you started and where you've come, whether it's multifamily or any other type of real estate. Getting really personal on LinkedIn, not corny and weird like Facebook, no offense, but in a professional, informative way can be great. You can talk about real estate basics. Maybe your target avatar always thought real estate was sexy, but they thought, gosh, there's no way I could ever, invest in this big a building. Isn't that just for the uber wealthy? You can give education about what a syndication is. My only caveat is please don't give financial advice unless you're a financial advisor. The best way to get around that is just talk about what you do and your perspectives and your strategies. Don't tell people, hey, you should do this, or this is the best way. You don't want the SEC coming breathing down your back, but you can give tons of education and talk about what you do, and that would be perfect. And you could talk about your why, and generate an emotional connection. Maybe you do something, or maybe you've wanted to, Angel, for example, I think a lot of us know Angel's story and her why. I remember she posted a great post about her incredible mission to not only help her own family, but a greater community that maybe often doesn't have the ability or hasn't thought of how they can be self-sustaining by investing. There's just so many great ways you can serve and be a go-giver to your target avatar. I'm going to show you guys a few of my successful posts so you can get ideas, just so you can get, examples, get the juices flowing. My target avatar hates paying taxes, hates it. So I decided to create an educational post about the 3 different types of income. Again, this is an oversimplification, but it's a great paradigm shift because a lot of folks don't realize that if you have earned income like your W-2, you're often taxed at the highest rate. Portfolio income, a little bit more moderate, and passive income can often be taxed at the least amount. Education, right? It's a big eye opener. It's a way to give back to my target investor and help them understand, oh gosh, well, maybe it might be useful for me to change the type of income that I earn if I'm looking to reduce my taxes. Oh, thanks, Angel. I'm just looking at the impressions on my posts. This is a great one. My very first real estate purchase was a 58-unit apartment complex, not my personal home. It's a paradigm shift. I'm not telling other people that that's what they should do, but we're told as Americans, hey, buy a home, buy a home, buy a home, buy a home. That should be your most important thing. Maybe for some people, but maybe it's a good idea for you to think about real estate investing or what that can do in terms of an asset that can generate income. Again, just using a personal story to help paradigm shift, to help educate, help people get to know me more. Rob, oh, where does the see more part of your LinkedIn post take the reader? That's a really good question. So this is see more. LinkedIn generally, when you're on the actual application, when you're on the platform, usually only shows the first line or 2, maybe 3 of your post. So if you can imagine, if I were to click here, the see more probably would have been right here. And then the rest of this would have come after someone clicks the see more. Does that make sense, Rob? So the goal is to get someone to click see more because it lets LinkedIn know that there are a lot of people that are interested in your posts and want to learn more. So pro tip, write a great first line. It's called a hook to get people to want to learn more. The hook here was, why was my first real estate purchase a 58-unit apartment complex with my investors and not my own home to live in? Quite a number of people wanted to learn more. What is this crazy lady up to? I hope that helps, Rob. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, one last post. Talk about causing controversy. This guy, James on LinkedIn, talked about appreciation from buying a home. Good, Rob, thank you. We all think like, oh, the value of real estate, our personal home always goes up, you know, oh my gosh, everything's all great. Well, he challenged that. He poked a little hole in it. And again, my target avatar is someone who doesn't really have the time, the effort, is really busy working, spending time with family, giving back to community, to really challenge this notion of your home is an asset. You should always buy a home. So this is a post that did well too. Again, I'm not trying to cause controversy just for the heck of it. I really am trying to grab attention, change people's points of view. Okay, posting. Let's move on to commenting. Again, I think this is the most underutilized thing on LinkedIn, and I'm going to encourage you all to think about commenting. I think Marquise said he, yeah, there you go. Marquise said he does more commenting than posting. Not a bad strategy. So in my opinion, commenting is all about empathy. The goal really is to add value to your target avatar by commenting on their posts. Figure out who you want to raise capital from and engage in their posts. Yeah, Angel, it takes some time, but it's such a powerful way to build relationships. You could address your target avatar's pain points. You could address your target avatar's goals. The other thing about commenting is to reply to comments on your own post quickly. Now, I'm not saying live on the LinkedIn platform. Nobody's got time for that. But hanging out for a good 30 minutes or so after you post and seeing who comments and replying to their comments can do wonders with the algorithm. Angel tends to just send everyone to their rooms. Exactly. So that you can make your own post do better by replying to those comments that people decide to put on your posts. My strategy is this for you all. Once you post, go ahead and comment on 3 other people's posts on your timeline or somewhere else. Not only is it the go-giver thing to do, add support, all of that, but it juices the algorithm quite nicely. If you're visual like me, this is the visual I want you all to remember. The more you comment on other people's posts, the more LinkedIn shows people your posts. And the more people that see your post, the more likely they are to interact with your post. And the more people that interact with your post, the more LinkedIn shows them your posts. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm looking at what Angel said over here on the side. If you have a hard time hitting post, oh yeah, you can also comment on it every few days and bring it back up. At least that worked a few months ago. So I think what Angel is saying is you can reply. Let me know if I'm getting this right, Angel. But you can reply to comments on your own post and kind of revive the post. So you can make the post kind of come back to life and circulate more. Yes, Mitchell, it does. It absolutely does. Sean, I would discourage that generally. It's a lot of people get people trying to kind of grab their attention and such. I think if you are talking about someone, tagging them in the post and, you know, getting them to engage, I would encourage you to DM it to somebody instead of tag them in general. If you're trying to get someone's attention, it's I wouldn't say spammy, but some people can view it as such. So yeah, I probably would DM if that makes sense. It's a good question. All right, I'm gonna give you all a little bonus above and beyond the because I see it's okay. It's 32 minutes after the hour, so we got a few more minutes, right, Charles? Are we good? Okay, cool. So I want to talk a little bit about your profile as a bonus. Since we talked about the algorithm, we talked about posting, we talked about commenting. You all saw how important your LinkedIn profile is just with somebody Googling you. So let's juice up your profile a little bit and make sure it's where it should be. So this is my profile. Maybe some of you have seen it. The first step I would recommend is take a look at your banner here, your LinkedIn banner. Now, when someone clicks on your profile, this is very likely the first thing that's going to grab their attention. So my suggestion to you is talk about how you help people, how you help your target avatar. A lot of folks talk about themselves. I do this, I do that. These are my accolades. This is my title. This is the name of my company. Nothing wrong with it per se. But if you're trying to serve people and help people understand how you can help them through investing, talking about how you can help them in very specific terms quickly can be really, really great. Same with this subheadline right here. When you're commenting or people see your comments, they're going to see this subheading right here. Again, lots of folks may talk about their title, their credentials, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I would encourage you, again, for people, even before they click on your profile, if they're looking at your comments, to make sure to talk about how you serve others, how you help people. Not mandatory, but it'll help. Update your profile, update your picture. Age is your friend in this business, y'all. I know all of us are aging. I'm 42. This was taken 1.5 years ago. It's probably time for me to update it myself. There is no shame in showing your wrinkles, your gray hair, whatever. The more experienced you look in your picture, the better off you are. But if you have a picture that's, I would say, more than 3 years old, it's probably time, go invest in getting some new headshots, just so you're an accurate representation of yourself. When people meet you in person, they recognize you, all that good stuff. We are age positive here on LinkedIn in real estate. You can also edit your profile and put a hyperlink. Mine now says free educational webinar. You can put learn more here. This is where you can link to your website, or better yet, to a lead magnet. If you don't know what a lead magnet is, it's something, again, in the go-giver vein, designed to add value to somebody and also capture their information, not to spam them, but to continue the conversation with folks. So make sure to add that to your profile if you have a lead magnet. And if you don't have one, I recommend getting one. There's a featured section on LinkedIn, so you can highlight, let's say, imagine somebody's just visiting your profile page very quickly, looking to learn a bit more about you. What are the top 3, 4, 5 posts that you've made over whatever period of time that you want folks to take a look at and get to know more about you, your company, your results, your values, all of those things? Make sure to feature posts there. And then finally, your about section or your bio. You can use this, y'all, as a FAQ section. I'm always shocked at how many people take the time to read my about and read my FAQs. So if you're on the phone with investors or you're frequently getting DMs of the same questions over and over again, this is a great way where you can just give the information up front. People can get to know and understand you. And by the time they get on the phone with you, they already have kind of some of these basic questions answered. Woo, I've been talking fast. Who's ready for a challenge? Anyone up for a challenge? Sean's ready for a challenge. Anyone else? I do have a challenge for you all, which will be fantastic. Thanks, Angel. So here's the first part. It's a 7-day challenge. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, connect with me. My last name's spelled a little funky, but you'll recognize me. I'm going to challenge you to post on LinkedIn. Thanks, Levi, for the next 5 to 7 days. If you're like Levi, you're already posting, you're set. But I'm really going to challenge you to get that going and comment on 3 people's posts every day for the next 5 to 7 days. Be that go-giver, shine your light, add the love. I can't encourage you to do that more. And then send 20 connection requests total over the next 7 days. Find old coworkers, find, people that you've met here in this room. Share your profile, maybe if Charles allows it, in the chat. Connect with people. The more connections you have, y'all, the more people are going to see your content. And the more people that see your content, the more likely they are to comment. And the more they comment, the likelihood of their network seeing your content goes up. And we're not worried. I get this question a lot. We are not worried about other syndicators doing the same thing we are with their networks seeing, and we are not having a scarcity mindset. There are a billion people on LinkedIn, and there's an infinite amount of money in the world. We have an abundance mindset. We don't worry and try to protect our own contacts and all of that. No. We all rise together. So if we comment on each other's posts, we share the love, all of that, it all ends up for the good. I promise you, I've tested this. This is just the way. Oh, thanks, Mitchell. Mitchell and I have already exchanged a conversation. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So if you're up for the challenge, let me know in the chat. I'd love to see who's up for it. And the goal really of the challenge is to increase your profile views and increase your impressions. If you do this just in 7 days, it's going to happen. And again, remember your funnel, right? The know, like, and trust funnel. We're going to increase the way people know you by these impressions, by these engagements, by your profile views. Just doing these things over the 7-day challenge will help quite a bit. Thanks, Tiffany. I love it. Ooh, everyone's sharing their LinkedIn profile in the chat. Make friends in the chat. I love it. I love it. So we're going to end with the last Jim Rohn quote. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. I hope some of these skills have helped you become better on LinkedIn. Am I allowed to do a quick plug, Charles? If not, I get it. That's okay? All right. So how are you setting your sales for 2024 to make sure that you're raising as much money as you need? I teach a 12-week course. It actually starts next week called LinkedIn Capital Raising Secrets. We already have one of the students here, which I'm really, really excited about. And I've got several former students. It is a 12-week live course. I teach you my proven 4-step system to raise millions and millions of capital on LinkedIn. If you're interested in learning more, you can click this QR code or, of course, reach out to me. And Charles, thank you so much for having me. Everyone, thanks for your engagement. I wish you abundance, abundance, abundance in 2024. And yeah, happy to take any questions or however you'd like to proceed, Charles. Thanks again, everyone.
If you have any questions, just let Amy know.
Yeah, Amy, can you put the QR code back on the screen?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll also put the link in the chat in case that's easier too. It is capitalraisingsecrets.com. Capitalraisingsecrets.com. There we go.
It says the link is no longer active for me
Oh,
when I
well, that's
scanned
not
it.
fun. Okay. Huh.
Did that happen to anybody else, or maybe it's an issue on my end?
Happened to me too.
Oh, bummer. Okay, well, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know. That's wild. So capitalraisingsecrets.com should work. If that's not working, then I need to double check my tech. Okay, the URL works. Okay, perfect. Good, good, good. I'll put it one more time in the chat. Thanks for letting me know.
I'll be sending it out.
Sorry?
I'll be sending it out with the email.
Oh, thanks, Charles. Thank you.
Amy, I have a question for you.
Please.
You said 12-week live. So is that's not online? That's not virtual. That's in person. When you
It's
say live?
virtual. It's virtual.
Oh, virtual. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How many hours? I'll look up the information.
Sure.
I'll
Yeah.
look up the
Yes.
information. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah. Some people
Sounds
ask
fun.
if it's like an on-demand course. So I said live, but I could see how that could be confusing. I appreciate you clarifying.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half class a week, and then the homework is about 400 hours a week. I'm kidding. It's not that much homework, unless you want to put that many hours in.
Yeah. I think Angel might tell you you're not joking, but yeah, we'll see. Great questions. Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate you. Oh,
You're breaking up really bad, Charles.
out. At this point,
You're breaking up real bad.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Thanks, Amy, for coming out. We're gonna go to the breakout session, but first of all, let me stop the recording first.